Morning everyone, Wayne from Scope 3 here. We got a 2010 Ford S-Max customer complaint. It's been hard starting. The engine management light's not on, but the colder weather is here, so let's see what we get from a battery test, and we'll plug it in as well, see what codes we got if there's any. Okay, so we've got a 570 EN battery fitted on here, so let's just see what a quick battery test says on it. If we go in, battery test. Sorry about the glare on this. Flooded. It's an EN 560 amp, sorry, 560. Okay, that's come out pretty healthy, so good recharge. Okay, I'm just going to use my little Pheonix Topdon this morning. So there we go. Let's see if we got any fault codes, because the engine management light is not on. Nope. Right, let's do a health report. So I've not started it yet, so the car is fully cold. The sun is beating off of it, so see how this one goes. So we have got some in the PCM. Okay, see if that gives us some sort of direction. I'm suspecting a glow plug. They're usually quite common on these. Okay. Okay, so we've got no trouble codes to give us any sort of direction. So let's see what we got. Turbocharger, turbo boost. No. I'm just going to clear DTCs. No, actually won't. Just come out of that. DTCs, go back. Let's go back. See what we got. Let me just save the report just in case. Let's go back. Come on. Shutdown control, anti-lock brake system. Okay, missing communication, BCM, right. Okay, well, I made a note of those, so I'm just going to clear them for now. Remember, whenever you do any sort of system scans, don't just delete the codes without making a note or saving them, or just jotting them down somewhere, because you could end up in a bit of trouble if you don't make a note of it. So ignition off, ignition back on. Rescan. Okay, so let's just have a look. Let's turn this off. Ignition off, ignition back on. Let's warm the glow plugs up a bit and see what happens. That seemed fair. That started up pretty nice actually, but so customer complaint not confirmed, but I am just going to do a quick check on the glow plugs. It's an easy test. I will show you how to do that next. Okay, so the current clamp is set up. I'm going to try and get it around in 4 wires now if I can. In. Try and get you a good shot of that. Right, let me zero that. Zeroed. So, hopefully you can see that. I'm just going to turn the ignition on, see if we can get a better shot of it there. There we go. So why is it dropping like that? Well, if you understand heat and glow plugs. Well, as I was saying, the reason the amperage drops on there, because the hotter it gets, the higher the resistance. So that is a good sign. But that amperage seemed a little low to me. So the next test I'm going to try and do is I'm going to see if I've got any continuity down to the plugs themselves. So guys and girls, I am using here the Hobby Tools breakout kit. I'll put a link in the description. This is a no-brainer. So, back to it. Yeah, these Hobby Tool breakout kits are the bomb. So you can fit those on. Right. See that? Up to ohms. Okay then guys, so I'm just going to show you. I've got it set on the ohm meter now. I've got the ground side connected to ground. Yep. And then positive side, we are going on this plug here. Can't focus. We're going in. We're going in behind you. See this plug here? We're going to go down all four of the glow plugs. Pin one on the top. Usually these glow plugs, so that's in there, look. And we have got an open circuit. If we can get in there. If I can get in there. So we're going down now. Going down onto number 2 glow plug. We have an open circuit. Number 3 glow plug. That's more like it. That's what we want to see. And maybe a little bit high. That's number 3. That's not very good, is it? Sorry about the blur. And we've got 10.8 kilo ohms, so that one's on its way out by the looks of this. Right, just going to take a quick volt reading. 12.35 volts. So ignition is on. That is glow plug 1 that was showing open circuit. There's no amp draw on that at all. Right, now we have a wrapped around glow plug 2 that was also showing open circuit. Got ignition on there. We have no current draw at all again. Now move over to 3. Right, now we're on glow plug number 3. Ignition on. There we go. You have about 20 amps and it's going down. That cylinder, if I remember right, was showing between 1.8 and 2.2 ohms resistance. So remember, as soon as current flow goes through these and it starts to heat up, amp draw will come down. Okay, glow plug 4. If I remember right, that was 10 kilo ohms as well, if I remember right. Right guys, I'm going to check path to ground now. So I've got test light It's connected to battery positive. So remember, plug 1 was open circuit. Nothing, no light shining. Just double check our test light is working. Yep. I know you probably can't see that. Can I show you that? Probably not. See that dim? Yeah. Yeah, so we have got a good connection to the battery. So we're going to try number 2, which was also open ground. Nothing. No light turning on there, look. So number 3. Oh look, we have a light on. We have one glow plug working. That was number 3. And number 4, see if you have a path to ground on that one. We have nothing on that. So we have one glow plug, which is actually working on this car at the moment. And we'll do a bit of math now. Right. Test light connected to battery negative this time. So I'm just going to test it on the battery. Yeah, that's working. I don't know if you can see that. No, too much glare. Yep, there's number 1. For number 2. 3. Oh, and the glow plug, it just clicked out then. Let's try that again. Glow plug 4 is working. That's good. So just to show you, glow plug 3, which is the only one that is finding a path to ground, has got about 1.8 ohms resistance to it. A little bit high, but it is still in the block, but usually these test out around about 1 ohm. So we'll just go and do a bit of math as well, but I'll have a look at specs and then we'll have a bit of a talk about it. Customer complaint, it wasn't starting on colder mornings. Now, we didn't really get a full confirmation on that because we had no fault codes, and the car started every time we wound it over. So we didn't have a crank no start or a no crank no start or anything like that. The car started for us every time. So in order to try and get to a quick diagnosis, there's also a couple of other things with these. They are a known problem on these, the glow plugs, so it's worth just checking. Have we got in our tools anything that we can do a quick test just to check to see if there is anything faulty on that line whilst the car is in the garage with us? Well, yes, there is. We have got the amp clamp. So we got the amp clamp out of the box. We stuck the amp clamp around here with everything plugged in. We turn the ignition on. So with the ignition on, we got 12 volts to here. This will go to ground because it's computer controlled. This relay then comes this way and activates. That allows 12 volts and current to flow to here and around to here. Yeah, you then got 12 volts here, and you should, in a healthy system, you should have current flowing through these going to ground, but we didn't. What we were showing is with our amp clamp, with a quick test, we already identified that we had, amperage wise, 22 amps. It was between 22 and 26 if I remember right, 26 amps. So that's screaming to me that there's a problem. But how do you know if that's right or wrong? Now, we done a check to see if we had resistance, and we done if we had a path to ground on those circuits. So we used our test light, if you remember right. We had disconnected this plug here. Yeah. Connected the Hubby Tools breakout kit, and we went down the line with a test light connected to battery positive. So this test light was connected to battery positive. Yeah, we connected it here on each individual one, and only one of them had a path to ground. So if you remember, we went down all 4 of them and the test light didn't light up. Now, if you had a path to ground through a good glow plug, they would light up. The only one that lit up was number 3, if we remember right. Light came on. So we then done an ohm test, didn't we? And we showed that we showed that on 3 we had 2.2 ohms of resistance. 4 we had 0 ohms. 2 we had 0 ohms. Sorry. And 1 we had 0 ohms. That's not good. Not good. Not good. That's average, but that to me still seems a little high. We'll have a little chat about that and why I think that is high. Now, with these systems, normal glow plugs, within spec, with it out of the vehicle, with it connected to an ohm meter, they do vary. They're usually about 1 ohm. So 1 ohm divide 4, because we've got 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4 glow plugs equals 0.25. This is for a healthy resistance on a healthy glow plug. Now, Ohm's law states that volts equals amps times ohms. Now, we knew most of this, didn't we? So we had a battery voltage reading of 12.35 volts. 12.35 volts, yeah. We had one glow plug showing 2.2 ohms. So if we divided that by 4, that would be equals 0.55. Now, if you do that on your calculator, 2.2 divide 4 equals 0.55, yeah? Now, if you do 12.35 divide 0.55 equals 22 amps, which is what we were seeing, which is good. But if you times that by 4, 22 amps by 4, because there's 4 glow plugs, that gives you times 4, 89 amps. Now that is a little high, seeing as we've only got a 60 amp fuse in our system here. So to me, that was screaming, we've got an issue. Because if you look at tech specs for these, they're about 1 ohm. So if we do 1 ohm divide 4 equals 0.25. Yeah. So if we do 12 volts that we knew at the battery, divide 0.25 equals 49.4 amps of current. Yeah. That's on a good healthy system. So that was screaming at. All I'd done is I connected an amp clamp around this location here, around here, and I'd seen that result. So that was already alarm bells ringing. So have we got a problem? Yes, we had. So then we just needed to do a little bit further testing just to check. What's going on here? Yeah, a little bit further testing. So we disconnected this here, didn't we, if you remember right? Check we had a 12 volt supply to all 4 of them, harness side. We had 12 volts. We checked with an incandescent test light. We had power coming on at this locations here, or all 4 of these locations. So that's good. So then we knew the problem was this way. So we'll get rid of all that. We knew that we had a problem between this connector and the path to ground through the glow plugs. But we had proven that there was no current flow. Just to be correct here, we had disconnected this connector here. So this is harness side, this is connector side. To test for a path to ground, we had disconnected here and we were testing connector side. We were going to all four with the breakout kit, the Heavy Tools breakout kit, and we had the test light. We tested on all four of them. And this is connected to battery positive. You wanted to see, and it only lit on one of them out of these four, and that was the one that had the resistance of 2.2 ohms on it. So we had an open circuit on these, so this is why we had no test light lighting up on, I think it was 1, 2 and 4. 3 was good. So we have an open circuit inside these glow plugs, which they do. It's a common problem on most cars, not just these. But with this car, it's a really difficult place because the glow plugs are on the back of the engine. It could be hours and hours of work. It could cost serious amounts of money as well, because if one snaps off as well, you're in trouble. So you need to diagnose this right. So with a quick amp clamp around the 4 wires, we'd already identified with under a minute that we only had a current flow of 22 amps. Like I said, you should be seeing on a good Alfie system with a spec of 1 ohm, because specs do vary, about 50 amps of current. So as you can see, there's a 60 amp fuse on here. So with 2.2, that's still a little bit high to me in the resistance range, but there are a couple of variables because it was still connected. It's inside the head. You've got all the other wires, that because this is all connected here as well. These are all connected. But as long as you've got 12 volts to the back of these glow plugs, which you can test with an incandescent test light. I couldn't show it on the video because they're very difficult to hold everything in place with a camera. It's just too difficult. So as long as your test light lights up, that you've got 12 volts here, you know it's the glow plugs that are the open circuit. So you'll be replacing the glow plugs because there's no path to ground because there's an open. Anyway, just want to say a big thank you for watching, guys. I hope this has helped you. Like, subscribe, leave some comments below, good or bad. We don't mind. If it's really bad, just give us a little bit of feedback so as we can try and correct it for future videos. But have a great day, everyone. Ta-da.